This is the Retro Rewatch, and today we're talking about the 1987 classic Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you can notify future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, in honor of Thanksgiving of 2021, I thought I would go back and rewatch this 1987 classic Planes, Trains, and Automobiles starring Steve Martin and John Candy. Now, I gotta say, I still love this movie. I think this movie is still, unfortunately, a product of its time. I mean, you can definitely tell this is from 1987. I gotta say, this is probably one of Steve Martin's and John Candy's best movies from back in the day. I still love watching this movie, but throughout this whole entire movie, you're like, oh man, if that guy had a cell phone, he could get out of this mess. Oh, if that guy could get access to the internet, he wouldn't be in this mess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this movie definitely shows you how much things have changed as far as travel goes. Now, I feel very fortunate. I've never had to actually travel anywhere for work to get home in time for Thanksgiving dinner and what have you. I mean, I've been places where I was working and I had to stay there for Thanksgiving and I didn't get to go home. I've worked on Thanksgiving because I was 18 years old and I worked at a gas station and somebody had to do it. So I had to work on Thanksgiving, but that was like a long time ago. But I never actually had to like travel like so much time to be home in time for Thanksgiving dinner, something like this, right? I mean, I've got some road stories, believe me, but nothing like this. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a 1987 American comedy film written, produced, and directed by John Hughes. The film follows a high-strung marketing executive and a good-hearted but annoying shower curtain ring salesman, and they share a 3-day odyssey of misadventures trying to get home to Chicago in time for Thanksgiving with the family. The film received critic acclaim, with many praising it for Hughes branching out from teen comedies, and for the performances of Candy and Martin. Watching it has become Thanksgiving tradition for some. The film opened in American theaters on November 25th of 1987, the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. Finished third for the weekend, grossing over $7 million. After its first 5 days, the film grossed over $10.1 million and stayed in the top 10 for 7 weeks. The movie then finished its American run on January 22nd of 1988, with a total box office of $49.5 million after a 12-week run. Then it was released in the United Kingdom on February 12th of 1988, topped the country's box office that weekend. Starring in this movie, you have Steve Martin, John Candy, Kevin Bacon, Layla Robbins, and Michael McKean, just to name a few. Now, currently, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is sitting with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 92%. Its last top critic was on August of 2021. He loved it, saying that John Hughes, the master of adolescent angst, has finally grown up. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a hilarious comedy without the troubled teenagers. Now, over on the audience side, we're a little bit lower. We're sitting there with a score of 87%. His last fan review, other than my video right now, was about 8 hours ago, earlier on today. So, and he loved it too. So it goes without saying, this movie is hilarious. It's almost like timeless on how hilarious this movie is. Now, I kind of wonder, could you make a movie like this nowadays? I mean, I'm not saying I want to see a remake of this movie at all, because I don't really think that you could, because with the technology that we have now with the internet, cell phones, and everything else, I don't know if you could actually have that kind of a troubled travel plans without, I don't know if you can actually do it nowadays. You know what I mean? Let me just think about that in the comments down below. So, I don't know, man, other than Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, this is probably like my top favorite Thanksgiving movie of all time. I mean, and I've looked on the internet, there's not really much other movies out there that pretty much cover around the same time period, even though they did list Son-in-Law as a Thanksgiving movie. So I guess that's kind of, I remember that was all happening around Thanksgiving, but I didn't really think of that as a Thanksgiving movie. So I don't know. And they also said that Miracle on 34th Street, even though it's considered a Christmas classic, does start during the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, right? So I don't know. I definitely think that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a all-time classic, and I love it, and I always will. So, I don't know, man. Did you see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Where does this rank with you as far as being a classic holiday movie? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I love this movie. It's kind of tradition for me to watch this thing almost every year. And this year, I decided to make a video. So let me know what you think. Get the comments down below.